begins on a quiet evening at Manor Farm, under a sky dusted with stars and the tired breath of another day's labor. The animals, weary from toil, are suddenly summoned. There's a secret meeting in the big barn, something unusual, something urgent. At the heart of it all is Old Major, the prize middle white boar. He's revered, wise, and nearing the end of his life. Yet his voice is steady, his eyes still sharp with conviction. Tonight, he says, he must speak. Not of food, or work, or the usual grievances, but of a dream. A vision too powerful to keep silent. The animals gather, Boxer and Clover, the strong-hearted horses, Benjamin, the cynical donkey, Muriel the goat, the hens, the pigeons, even the rats who creep in at the edges. Each one drawn not by command, but by curiosity, and a flicker of something deeper. Hope. Old Major speaks, and the barn falls still. He describes the life they all know too well. A life of endless labor and inevitable slaughter. Is this all we were born for? He asks. To feed humans, to serve them, to die when they've taken everything from us? He doesn't speak with rage, but with sorrow, and a fierce clarity. The enemy, he declares, is man. The humans, who take without giving. Who consume but do not create. Who profit off the sweat and blood of animals, while giving back only scraps and pain. But he doesn't just diagnose the sickness, he offers a dream. A dream of freedom. Of fields where animals govern themselves. Where no creature lives in fear. A world where labor is shared, where no whip cracks in the air, and no animal is ever treated as property again. And then, something incredible happens. Old Major begins to sing. The song, Beasts of England, is raw, emotional, and strangely familiar. It speaks of green meadows and golden days to come. A future born from the ashes of oppression. One by one, the animals join in. Their voices rise. A chorus of longing and rebellion fills the barn, echoing into the night. 3 times they sing, louder each time. Not just with their mouths, but with their hearts. In that moment, they are no longer chickens or cows or sheep. They are comrades. They are dreamers. They are the first sparks of a revolution. But outside, the human world stirs. Mr. Jones, the farmer, drunken and dull, is roused by the commotion. Annoyed and confused, he fires a shotgun blast into the darkness. The barn falls instantly silent. The animals scatter, hearts pounding, the dream still ringing in their ears. Yet something has changed. They return to their stalls, to their chains and troughs. But they carry with them more than fear. They carry a memory. A vision. A possibility. Old Major, tired but content, lies down to sleep. He doesn't know it, but his words have planted a seed. A rebellion is coming. Not yet. But soon. The farm, for now, remains unchanged. But under the surface, something is beginning to stir. A dream is alive. And dreams, once shared, are hard to kill. Old Major's death comes just days after the dream he shared. One morning, he's simply gone. Buried at the foot of the orchard, without ceremony. But his message doesn't die with him, it lingers, restless, like smoke in the rafters. 3 animals take up the mantle of thought leadership. Snowball, Napoleon, and Squealer, 3 pigs, each clever in their own way, begin shaping Old Major's vision into something more organized. They call it animalism, and they preach it with zeal. But not all the animals understand. What's the point? Ask some. Won't Mr. Jones always be in charge? The pigs answer with promises and parables. Squealer, the silver-tongued persuader, spins doubt into belief. Boxer, the workhorse, adopts a new motto, I will work harder. Others follow suit. The dream is catching on, even if few can explain it fully. Then, without warning, the revolution arrives. Mr. Jones grows lazier, drunker. He neglects the farm, leaves animals unfed. One evening, the hunger is too much. The animals snap. They break into the store shed, demanding only food, but Jones responds with whip and rage. The animals fight back. What begins as chaos turns into clarity. They chase the humans off the farm, Mr. Jones, his men, and even his wife, all driven down the lane in retreat. And then, silence. No commands. No masters. Just animals, blinking in the open air, suddenly free. They can hardly believe it. The farm is theirs. In a burst of joy, they burn the symbols of their servitude, the nose rings, the chains, the cruel whips. They rename the land Animal Farm. The pigs, now self-appointed leaders, reveal that they've taught themselves to read and write. Snowball paints the 7 commandments of animalism on the barn wall, summarizing the entire revolution into rules all animals can live by. And at the end, all animals are equal. For the first time, they sing Beasts of England not in hope, but in triumph. The dream is no longer just a dream. With the dawn of a new regime comes the reality of work. The animals throw themselves into rebuilding the farm with a sense of pride they've never known before. Everything they do, plowing, harvesting, repairing, is not for some distant master, but for themselves. Boxer becomes the model citizen. His strength is unmatched, his work ethic legendary. "I will work harder," he repeats with every breath, even when his body begins to strain. The pigs, meanwhile, take on the role of planners and thinkers. They say they need time to organize, to manage, to read books, so they don't do much physical labor. It feels strange, but no one questions it yet. Snowball works tirelessly to educate the others. He sets up committees, literacy classes, discussion groups, even an attempt to teach the hens to clean their eggs. Most of it fails, but some of the animals begin to read, even if just a little. The 7 commandments prove too long for many to remember, so Snowball simplifies them into one line: 4 legs good, 2 legs bad. It's catchy, memorable, and repeated until it becomes instinct. Harvest time comes, and the results are astonishing. It's the most successful season the farm has seen. The animals are exhausted, but proud. They hold meetings every Sunday, vote on decisions, and sing Beasts of England like a hymn. But subtle cracks are forming. Only the pigs are learning deeply. Only the pigs take the milk and apples. Squealer insists it's necessary for the brain work. If they don't stay healthy, he warns, Jones might come back. The animals, uneasy, nod. No one wants Jones back. And so, little by little, compromises are made. The revolution continues, but not all animals are quite as equal as they used to be. Beyond the boundaries of Animal Farm, the human world watches with unease. Neighboring farmers, Mr. Pilkington and Mr. Frederick, dismiss the rebellion as a passing fad. But as rumors spread of animals running a farm themselves, unease turns to fear. The spark of revolution is contagious. Mr. Jones, meanwhile, broods in a nearby pub. Humiliated. Powerless. But not for long. In October, he returns. Jones marches back to Animal Farm with several men, pitchforks and sticks in hand. They mean to take back what they lost, to crush the idea that animals could ever stand on their own. But they've underestimated the new order. Snowball, anticipating the threat, has studied the strategies of Julius Caesar. He orchestrates a defense, an ambush. The attack begins with a feigned retreat. As the humans chase a group of fleeing animals, the rest of the animals close in. It's swift, brutal, victorious. Snowball himself charges into the fray. He's wounded, but undeterred. Even Boxer kicks a man unconscious, then stands horrified at what he's done. "I didn't mean to kill," he whispers, shaken. The battle is over in minutes. The humans flee once again. The animals name it the Battle of the Cowshed. They raise a green flag, mark the day as sacred. Snowball receives the medal of Animal Hero, First Class. Boxer is honored too, though still visibly haunted. Another line is crossed. This is no longer just a peaceful dream. It's a revolution that must be defended with blood. And while the animals cheer and sing, a shadow grows behind the applause. The revolution has found its first enemy. But what they haven't yet seen is that the greatest threat may not come from outside at all. Winter deepens on Animal Farm, and with it, so does division. Not all animals are satisfied with how things are going. Molly, the vain, pampered mare, has grown distant. She's seen near the hedge, chatting with a man from a neighboring farm, letting him stroke her nose. When confronted, she denies it. But days later, she vanishes, and is never seen again. Rumor has it she now pulls a cart in town, wearing ribbons and eating sugar. The rest remain, more serious now. The dream of animalism has become work, repetition, routine. And beneath the surface, a struggle for power is beginning. Snowball and Napoleon clash constantly. They argue in every meeting. About education. About committees. About whether the animals should build a windmill. To Snowball, the windmill is the future. A vision of progress, electricity, heating, leisure for all. To Napoleon, it's a distraction. A fantasy. He wants to focus on strengthening food production and defending the farm. Then comes the Sunday when everything changes. Snowball gives a passionate speech. He outlines the plans, paints a future where animals work less and live more. The crowd is moved. Just as they're about to vote, Napoleon gives a strange signal. 9 dogs, massive, fierce, and unknown until now, burst into the barn. They leap at Snowball. He runs. They chase him, snapping jaws inches from his tail. He escapes by the skin of his life, vanishing into the night. He never returns. The barn is silent. Napoleon stands where Snowball once did. Calm. Authoritative. The dogs at his heel. He announces an end to Sunday meetings. No more debates. From now on, decisions will be made by a committee of pigs. The animals will receive orders, not choices. There is unease, but no protest. Squealer works quickly, spinning the story. Snowball, he says, was a traitor all along. The windmill? Now it was Napoleon's idea. The animals, dazed and confused, begin to forget what they once knew. Boxer, faithful as ever, adopts a new maxim: Napoleon is always right. And so the dream changes. Not overnight, but enough to feel it in the wind. The animals work harder than ever. The windmill is to be built after all, but now under Napoleon's command. It's back-breaking labor, dragging stones, breaking them by hoof and hammer. No animal complains. At least, not aloud. But something is shifting. The pigs begin trading with neighboring humans. Napoleon insists it's only for necessities. The animals are told not to worry, even as the milk and eggs are sold to outsiders. A contract is signed with Mr. Whymper, a human solicitor. The pigs move into the farmhouse. Sleep in beds. Drink milk and whiskey. Read newspapers. All the old taboos, now explained away. The commandments begin to change. Or rather, the animals think they might be changing. Wasn't there a rule against beds? But now it reads, no animal shall sleep in a bed with sheets. A subtle twist. Just enough to confuse. Squealer is always ready with smooth words and quick smiles. Do you want Jones back? he repeats, and the question silences all doubt. Then, disaster. A terrible storm hits. The windmill, half-built, is destroyed in the night. Shattered stones lie scattered like bones. The animals stare in disbelief. Napoleon acts swiftly. He blames Snowball. He claims Snowball returned in secret to sabotage the windmill. That he is lurking, still working with enemies. The dogs snarl on cue. Paranoia spreads. The animals rebuild. Again. In the cold of winter, with less food, less rest, and more fear. But this time, it's not just physical exhaustion. It's psychological weight, the sense that something sacred is slipping away. They work harder. Eat less. Hope less. And the dream, once so bright, begins to flicker. Winter bites deep. The animals are starving. The humans mock them. Spread rumors that Animal Farm is on the verge of collapse. Napoleon responds with iron will. He increases propaganda, stages empty granaries to impress visitors, forces animals to sing and smile when outsiders pass through. But behind the scenes, they're starving. The hens are the first to break. When Napoleon demands they surrender their eggs to trade for grain, they rebel. They fly to the rafters, lay their eggs there, and smash them rather than give them up. Napoleon is merciless. He cuts off their rations. For 5 days, they hold out. Then one by one, they collapse. 9 hens die. The rebellion is crushed. It is the first time animals kill other animals by order of their leader. But it won't be the last. Soon after, Napoleon stages a confessional purge. Animals are forced to admit crimes, associating with Snowball, plotting sabotage, dreaming of rebellion. Whether the confessions are real, forced, or entirely false no longer matters. One by one, they are executed. The dogs tear throats, blood soaks the earth. The others watch, frozen in horror. Even Boxer is shaken. I do not believe that Snowball was a traitor from the beginning, he mutters, but when challenged, he simply adds, if Comrade Napoleon says it, it must be true. Beasts of England, the anthem of the Revolution, is banned. In its place, a new, dull anthem is introduced. It has no fire. No hope. Just obedience. The animals return to work in silence. The snow now red in places. The dream that once gave them courage now feels distant, like a song half forgotten, drowned in the wind. Yet somewhere, buried deep beneath fear, a question still trembles: is this what we fought for? By spring, the animals are exhausted. The executions have left a scar not just on the earth, but on their souls. And yet, no one dares speak openly. Fear now governs Animal Farm. The commandments on the barn wall continue to shift, quietly, cleverly. No animal shall kill another animal, becomes, without cause. The changes seem to rewrite reality, and any confusion is quickly silenced by Squealer's oily logic. Napoleon is no longer seen in public often. When he does appear, it's with pomp and ceremony. He's referred to as our leader, Comrade Napoleon. He is flattered by poems, celebrated in speeches. A black cockerel marches ahead of him like a herald. Even the pigs begin walking differently, heads higher, eyes colder. He begins negotiating with both Pilkington and Frederick, playing them against each other. The windmill is rebuilt, stronger this time. But soon, the worst betrayal arrives. Napoleon agrees to sell timber to Frederick. The animals feel uneasy. They've heard terrible things about him. And then it happens, the money Frederick pays with is fake. Worthless. Before they can respond, Frederick invades. Men with guns. Explosives. Fire. The animals fight back in a desperate, brutal clash. They drive the men off, but at a terrible cost. The windmill is destroyed again, this time blown to rubble. The very symbol of their dreams, gone. They win the battle. But it feels like a hollow victory. In the aftermath, the animals limp back to the barn. Their bodies bruised. Their faith bleeding. But Napoleon declares it a great triumph. Medals are handed out. Speeches are given. Boxer, though wounded and limping, resolves to work harder still. His time is coming, and he knows it. To drown their sorrows, the pigs discover something new, alcohol. And just like that, a new commandment is quietly updated. No animal shall drink alcohol, to excess. Winter returns, and the suffering deepens. Food rations are cut. The animals are thinner, quieter. Even their songs are fading. But somehow, they go on. Boxer keeps working. He's older now, slower, but just as determined. I will work harder, he says, though his legs tremble and his back aches. Napoleon continues to isolate himself. A pig named Moses returns, the raven who once spoke of Sugar Candy Mountain, a paradise in the sky where animals go after death. The pigs allow him to stay now. Perhaps it serves a purpose. Then it happens, Boxer collapses. His strength gives out while hauling stone for the windmill. The animals rush to help, but he's too weak to rise. They nurse him gently. He says, "Don't worry, comrades. Napoleon will make sure I'm taken care of." Napoleon promises he'll be sent to a veterinarian. A van arrives 2 days later. But Benjamin reads the side of the vehicle. Alfred Simmons, horse slaughterer and glue boiler. The animals panic. They cry out. They run after the van. Boxer tries to kick the doors open, but he's too weak. He's gone. Squealer appears later, offering a twisted explanation. The van had been purchased by the vet, but the sign hadn't yet been painted over. The animals, devastated, want to believe. They have to. Soon after, pigs purchase a case of whiskey. Boxer's death is never mentioned again. Years pass. Many of the original animals are dead or gone. The ones who remember the rebellion are fewer each year. The farm has grown, taken on new animals who never knew a world before Napoleon. They work, eat, sleep. They don't question. The windmill is rebuilt once more. But it's not used for electricity, as Snowball had promised. It's for grinding corn, for profit. Leisure was never granted. The animals labor harder than ever. No one talks about equality anymore. Only one commandment remains on the barn wall: all animals are equal, but some animals are more equal than others. The pigs now walk on 2 legs. They carry whips. They wear clothes. They dine with humans. One evening, the animals peek through the farmhouse window. Inside, the pigs are drinking and laughing with the same humans they once called enemies. Napoleon raises a toast to Animal Farm, now to be renamed Manor Farm again. The animals outside watch in stunned silence. They look from pig to man, from man to pig, and they can no longer tell the difference. The dream is gone. Only the illusion remains.
Thank you for listening.